Conscious Thought, Episode 59, August 4th, 2025. The multi-optioned, omni-orderly scheme of behavioral reference. Christina Herlofson, Synergetics Research Project. Disclaimer. The video clips herein provide artistic visual experiences, but are not the precise synergetics geometric models of Albert Winster Fuller's accurately measured polyhedra shown in Synergetics Figure Index. For histories of humans on Earth, what system is least known to its neuronal circuitry network's designed mind and the individual's inherent imaginative ability to formulate conceptually, yet it actually regenerates itself whenever there is an event because it is an eternal rebirth system? Surely the eternal all-knowing mind designs all generalized principles as discoverable, regenerating patterning integrities that metaphysical intellect conceptualizes as a synergetic function of Yom's self-testing. Cosmic, logically, consciously informed mind refers the energy event to a generalized principle subsequent to learning of the correlation between relevant conceptualities independent of size, time-space sizing, where it is size alone that can come to zero, not the conceptuality. The spherical polyhedra are the least known systems to humans everywhere on Earth. Its packaged energy is regenerated at its rebirth centers that are accommodated by the isotropic vector matrix, which was described in the 20th century, correlating to variously discovered aspects of it from earlier scientific explorations that can be made more clear to relative inquiry of our 21st century generations, whose inquisitive interest can refer to Albert Winster Fuller's Synergetics explorations in the geometry of thinking. To the best of my knowledge, this referential resource is the one and only publication to date that includes geometric topological conceptual models for self-educating humans at any age of inquiry. Synergetics is available for everyone online. Resorting to self-educating one's own brain's neuronal circuitry network is imperative, especially since the recurring human events in our world continue to happen from centuries of educated ignorance that by officially authoritative default absences of forethought discourage potential awareness of the eternal rebirth system. Naturally, humans are curious about the discovery of energy rebirth centers unless such inquisitiveness is suppressed by overpowering inelastic set minds whose controlling authority relies on a rigid frame of reference, albeit disguised as an essential reality basis while concealing its profitable punitory intentions, perpetually manipulative, redirecting inquisitive intuition, respecting the individual's awareness of consciously coordinated thought and action, thought and language, omni-rationally to include the eternally regenerating centers of the universe may well be so that the punitory industries can be operated by profit motivations regardless of the enormity of degenerative losses caused by such flagrant misuse of human intellection's evolving potentials. Our humanity's evolving potentials are integrally designed in principle to eventually manifest the most economical interrelationships of a plurality of events. Obviously, the term event is anticipatory, of critical importance, and must not be confused with the headline news of some gala event, a societal event, a sporting event, which is not yet generalized as it would be when generalizing a concept and conceptualizing a sizeless generalization. The events that regenerate occur in finite universe. Logically, the event cannot be an infinitely extended, open, seemingly unending, historically reenacting articulation for serving hidden agendas and contrived profiting purposes in opposition to consciousness evolution's intuitive drive to know more and more about the most economical way of self and otherness interbehaving. This means our 21st century humanity instead wisely starts with whole, W-H-O-L-E universe, not with any part of it, even though such parts are purely imaginary, P-R-J-W-M, and have been highly praised as imperative contexts within which everything under the sun supposedly can be worked out, referential to politics, religion, justice, war, and money. In this entire regard, punitive emulations are underestimated relevantly to the outset of probability, and historically have been relegated to the J-Factor's legal system's probative value despite its increasing costs and more obviously least economic way a system can behave while perpetually denying unity and self in universe. Like sweeping what is organically integral, generalized, omnidirectional under the proverbial carpet that seems purposely disregarded despite decades of informed knowledge of the dimensional supremacy and discovery of the centers of an energy rebirth. Consequently, nature's probability, which is not linear or planar, continues to delude recognition and dissemination in TEUCP, the Evolving Universal Communication Process. The relevant polyhedra are sloughed off, thus thereby integrating favorable power to the justice systems in the world that are operating with impunity, exempt from punishment, indefinitely permitted to exploit the value of doing harm onto others. When the generalized systems are not considered as integrals of the human imagination's emulative reality basis, this can leave its intended inflicting punishment as a matter of the J-Factor's final decisions in the political system, and the R-Factor for eternal condemnation, including what is erroneously called the afterlife in the religion system. As if the J-Factor is permanently encased, protected, from the harmful consequences of its perpetuated ignorance that reenacts every case of law, irrespective of Yome's eternal, omnidirectional, interaccommodative, transforming transactions of universal events, all of which can be accurately conceptualized referentially to the generalized polyhedral directions, the in, out, inside, out, outside, in, and around events of the self-system's eternally imposed processing and the extra-organic travel we can explore in Synergetics 538.01. Still, you could think the M factor, money, is a system that generates itself whenever there is an event, but we all know that money does not grow on trees. Yet money factors into every aspect of the punitory intention, regardless that human emulations of imagined behavior gives little to no thought whatsoever to the self-regenerative eternal rebirth system. As it turns out, we are looking for the multi-optioned, omni-orderly scheme of behavioral reference. As our evolving intelligence gladly replaces the grand scheme of things with awareness of UIVMOFCH universe, isotropic, vector matrix, operational field, cosmic hierarchy that once was referred to as the octet truss. It is not a priori, but simply a conceptuality of the most economic way a system can behave relative to unity and self in universe, although humans can adjust the a priori thought to a total reality of universal principles once informed of this aspect of a human propensity we are designed to recognize. With the first letter A separated from priori, the word a priori is a strange term, so we must not impede progress, and instead explore the definition of the word a priori in a dictionary, as I did just now in Webster's Collegiate Dictionary, 11th edition. While at the word processor, which is a desktop computer, every click of the mouse tapping a letter on the keyboard incites competition for the human's energy invested thus from various innovative computer systems that are engineered to fulfill the human impulse, supposedly providing a shortcut, and definitely it would be easier, accepting the invitation to use such innovation. But aspects of supplanting human intelligence with AI manipulations also denies the innate intuitive capability when imagination validates its own ability to formulate conceptually. Therefore, it could be an essential action-reaction resultant integral tool correlating to intuition and depending on trial and error explored survival stratagems. This seems to be what the highest rated computer systems like Microsoft and Apple explored for their own survival stratagems, which regenerates exploitations of humans at every turn at play, technically repositioning our consumer-prone impulses, an aspect of human intelligence, by infiltrating the word processing functions, redirecting mouse clicks and keyboard taps under its monopolizing control to sell a product, a concept, a potentially reenacting aspect of the slave mentality. Such a conclusion of unasked for interference might not be popular under any conforming expectation. So is AGI's Artificial General Intelligence growing popularity according to its experts, as it capitalizes on human energy inputs in the evolving universal communication process for future profits. Those technologies bear no resemblance to the eternal rebirth system. The eternal rebirth system that regenerates itself whenever there is an event is the isotropic vector matrix, formerly known as the octet truss, that is not a priori. Its evolutionary patterning correlates with newly informed awareness of its intervectoring, intertrajectoring, ever-recurrent options of action. As we can read in Synergetics 540.02, there are 12 alternative options of action, each one of which is equally the most economical way of interbehaving, respecting consciousness, evolution, self-other awareness of a newly conceived universe. Alternatives of action involve degrees of freedom, and there are 12 universal degrees of freedom that are potentially relevant to our evolving species, humans designed in principle by universe eternal omniscient mind. Until next time, thank you from Christina Herlofson.